Now, over the last few months, we've brought you spectacular pictures from the Volvo Ocean Race at regular intervals, 45,000 nautical miles around the world, 4 oceans, 6 continents. And I'm delighted to say we have 2 of the members from the Turn the Tide on Plastic team with us, Dee Caffari and Henry Bomby. Listen, great to see you on dry land. It must be a nice break for both of you. I was going to say, tell us where you've been around the world, but it almost looks like where haven't you been? You've covered almost the globe. Tell us about some of the highs and lows.
It feels a little bit like that. It's a year-long odyssey that's slowly coming to the end. We've just got 2 legs left and 2 countries left to visit, Gothenburg, and we finish in The Hague. But previous to that, we visited 10 host cities. And of course, our race is a sporting event on the water, but also as a team, we're trying to amplify the message and change people's attitude to single-use plastics, and that's been probably our other race that we've had on shore. But we are seeing change, and we are seeing people pick up on the message, and we're seeing the momentum grow, so it's great to be a small part of that as well. And
in terms of the race, Henry, it must be very high, very low at different times, extremes of emotions. Just tell us some of those that you can reflect back on.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hugely intense environment. You've got 10 people living on board and work in their work and play environment effectively. So we work 4 hours on, 4 hours off, and when we're off watch, we're still all living together down below, eating and sleeping and sharing all facilities. So it's an incredibly intense environment. We're a very close-knit family now. You know, a year ago to date, some of us hadn't even met each other, and now we've gone through this amazing race and amazing adventure. And yeah, as we were saying earlier, I think it's something we'll all be close friends for life now. After this.
I bet there's no arguments whatsoever between you all either. We've said that we've been showing some spectacular pictures, but some of those have been because of the weather. How much has that affected you all?
It's been a really full-on, it is a full-on brutal environment and hostile oceans, but that's some of the reason why we all sign up to do it. And some of those, the footage that you see where there's waves crashing down the deck and we're going really fast, that's what gives us the buzz. So it looks a little extreme, but that's what we hope to have.
Oh, really?
And it's exciting, but yeah, it can take its toll physically, mentally, emotionally, and it is exhausting. And doing this, a race that goes on for 9 months, it's probably the longest sporting event there is.
And I suppose, Henry, when you've got the wind and the tide and you're going quickly, that's perhaps the easy time because your natural reactions kick in. How about when it's quiet? Is it hard to keep spirits up then?
Yeah, definitely. I think, actually, I found in the Southern Ocean, where it's extremely cold, 3-4 degrees water temperature, and howling winds and things, I kind of almost found that a bit easier because you can it's just gritty, you get stuck in, down below you get into your sleeping bag and you can warm up. But in the tropics, where you're crossing the doldrums, it's hot, so it's uncomfortable on deck. Down below, you can't find any shade in the middle of the day, and actually then you're uncomfortable the whole time. But we say in this race, life of the extreme, and it really is the extremes. We sail to all corners of the globe and, you know, get to experience places that no one else does, which is, you know, awesome for us.
Yeah, extraordinary.
Are you happy, Dee, that you've been able to keep the spirits up?
Well, they're still smiling. We're still talking to each other, so I think so far so good. I've still got probably the toughest 5 weeks left, which is when everyone's tired, emotional and coming to the end. And suddenly the circus leaves town and the bubble bursts. But I think we've shared a very unique experience. It keeps us as a very close-knit group, and I'm sure it's a family that's going to stay in touch beyond.
Clearly, as you said, 2 messages. There's the race and then there's the sustainability and the pollution issue. During the race, how much pollution have you been aware of? How much plastic have you seen in the oceans?
Well, the sad reality is it's out there. And this is, for me, it's my 6th time around the world. And I've seen it increase. The macroplastics that you see are very visible, be it bottles, plastic food packaging, balloons, and it's the harsh reality. And I thought maybe I'm becoming more aware of it, which is why I'm noticing it more. But these guys are seeing it for the first time and commenting as well. So it really is out there, and it's human debris, it's human waste.
And is this initiative working? Do you think that at the moment, the overall goal, we're going the right way to get to that, to achieve it?
Absolutely, and I think actually a year ago, plastics wasn't really something that on a global scale we were talking about. And I don't know whether it's just because I've been a part of this project, but there just seems to be, you see it on the news all the time, the government introducing or talking about coffee cup levies, big companies talking about removing plastic straws. I mean, Sky, for example, are getting rid of, by 2020, all plastic within their company. And that is a huge commitment that big organisations and governments around the world are making. And you know, we're obviously a very small part of that, and there's a lot of corporations around the world trying to spread this message. And for me and a lot of the young guys on the team, I think this message of sustainability is something that we will carry for the rest of our lives. So obviously for us as professional sailors, it's awesome to have this opportunity to compete in the Volvo Ocean Race and sail around the world, but to be able to carry such a strong message as well for us, I think it's brilliant.
We're certainly doing a great job raising awareness. Look, as for the race, Dee, we know you're a 7th overall at the moment, with some bad luck as well so far. How do you see it going for leg 10?
You're being polite, because 7th overall is actually in last place, and we have to admit that. But the racing is much closer than the leaderboard depicts, and that's the frustration. We've been so close, we've led a number of legs, and we just haven't had the luck at the end. So we're hoping that that luck will change on a finish line in the last 2 legs, but we are fighting now on the overall place that we're just a couple of points short of not being at the bottom spot. And for a last-minute team coming together with a young, experienced crew that have grown as sailors and individuals throughout the year, if we can not finish on the last place of the leaderboard, that's going to be a massive achievement. So we do have a goal, and we're determined to try and make that happen.
OK, well, all the best of luck with that. So thank you very much for coming in, Dee and Henry. It's great to see you, and keep the message going. Great stuff.